Hello, grade 9 parents, and welcome to the Manning Park parent presentation. My name is Mr. Johnston, and I'm going to walk you through this in lieu of a face-to-face parent meeting. We found that those meetings weren't reaching many parents, and this way you can pause, go back, hopefully not skip anything. And if you do want to have a face-to-face meeting, feel free to reach out to us after this presentation. And there's also a few other places where you can find information, and I'll talk through those. But why are we going winter camping? So this is a compulsory grade 9 experience, and we feel like there's a huge amount of value for student growth and development. Lots of different reasons, and generally when students come back from this, they've had an amazing experience, so very worthwhile. Where is Manning Park? Manning Park's about 2.5 hours away by bus. It sort of climbs in elevation, and so we get into some really nice dry snow, some quite cold conditions at times, and it's a really beautiful place for folks to spend a bit of time outside. We're going to be there from Wednesday through Friday, a few weeks from now, and we're going to be meeting up on the Wednesday morning in the lower lot, and then picked up also from the lower lot on the Friday at a normal dismissal time. Now, if you're a little bit late on the Friday, your son or daughter will be unsupervised down at the gym there. And for all the specific dates, you can reference WolfNet, and that's where some more details can be found. In terms of staffing, we have a few different types of staff that come out on this trip. We have some senior school teachers who come and chaperone, and we also have a couple of outdoor ed teachers in the school, myself and Miss Loger and Mr. Bendel. Most of the time, the three of us will come out on these trips. But we also have outdoor instructors who are skilled outdoors people. Many of them we've worked with for numerous years, and sometimes the students will know them quite well. So at each different place, there's a different combination of those types of staff, but we definitely have a very good supervision ratios out on trip. The other type of leaders or supervisors that we're going to be using is student leaders, and these are grade 11 and 12 students. They've had training. Many of them have been through the Wilderness Pursuits course in grade 10, so they're quite skilled in the outdoors. Now they're going to be supervising either in cabins, sometimes in the lodge, but specifically at the campsite as well, where they take on quite a significant leadership role, but always under the leadership of our instructors or outdoor ed teachers as well. Now, Manning Park Lodge and Resort has got a few different types of accommodation, and we use, depending on the year, a variety of those. We definitely stay in cabins each year. Sometimes we use lodge rooms as well, and we also camp out at two different campsites that are about a 10-minute drive from the main lodge area. Students won't be driving to those places, but will be skiing or hiking. And while we're out there, we're going to be doing lots of different stuff. Activities include a lot of cross-country skiing. We do some snowshoeing after dark, because obviously winter, it's getting dark quite early. We do some outdoor games and activities, including tobogganing. So there's plenty of opportunity for lots of fun for all different interests. And the itinerary will differ depending on the group that your child is in. This is a sample itinerary for someone who's chosen to camp out. So students have the option of camping out for one night or staying in a cabin type arrangement for both nights. In the past, the camping has been very popular. Generally, probably 70 out of the 75 students would choose to camp out for that night, and we design that experience so that it's within reach of all students. We really encourage them to camp out, because it's a really unique opportunity, and it's definitely within their grasp. So those students who choose not to camp out will have a little bit of a different itinerary than the one listed, and it's a little bit more repetitive, but they still get to engage in all of the same activities as those who do camp. Now, for that night, or potentially 2 nights in a cabin, there's between 6 and 12 students, depending on the cabin that they are allocated to, and there'll always be some kind of leader, either a senior student leader or a staff supervisor in that cabin. And it's important to note that they still do need their sleeping bag even in that cabin. When they're camping out for that one night that most students will, lots of little activities that we do while we're out there, and lots of attention to how to manage yourself in those conditions. Most importantly, though, is just that they pack using the packing list, and that they're well prepared in terms of their packing. Food each night will be prepared by a mix of students and staff. We bring it from the school cafeteria here, and it's generally pretty well pre-prepared. Some lasagnas, some chilies, some salads. So quite straightforward in terms of student preparation while we're out there, but we do have students involved in the cooking and the cleaning of meals. And it's just important also that they bring that bagged lunch on the Wednesday. In terms of other details, we do lots of sports. There may be ice on the ground. Sometimes the conditions are a little bit slippery. So there are obviously elevated risks while we're out there. If students want to go tobogganing, it's crucial that they have a helmet to wear, and we've got some pretty strict parameters in place around tobogganing. For cross-country skiing and snowshoeing, it's kind of standard that no helmets are required, but if students want to bring them, then they're welcome to as well. People are often worried about animals like cougars, bears, etc. Some of those big animals are in hibernation this time of year. So in general, it's really the small animals like mice that have been issues for us, and so we want to make sure people don't really bring huge amounts of food. That Wednesday meal is required, the lunch, but otherwise we have plenty of food for everyone's needs after that point. That's one of the kind of golden rules of going on a camp with young kids, is make sure they get enough food. So I guess finally there, just communication. Manning does have a resort office that could be contacted in case of emergencies, and that's sort of our primary method of communication as well, because there's not actually any cell phone reception. Now, in terms of the gear required, a full gear list is provided on WolfNet, and I'll kind of show you where to find that in a moment. But it is important that that packing list is followed closely so that students are well prepared for camping out in the snow. In terms of our expectations on students, essentially the normal things that you'd expect from our wonderful students at the school. Just making sure that they participate fully, that they try things, that they're positive with their peers, and I think that goes without saying. Things not to bring though, we don't need phones and electronics. The biggest hazard out there is that they're going to, well, batteries will die in the cold, but also that they might get wet in the snow or get lost, or it kind of just results in some challenging situations. So we ask that students do not bring those electronics. If they'd like to bring a camera, they're welcome to do that, but not a phone camera. So a little point and shoot or something like that. So very importantly, where can you get more information about this? On WolfNet, there is all sorts of information. We've got frequently asked questions, we've got more images, we've got details about the packing. So where you're looking is under groups here in your WolfNet account. As you scroll down, you'll come across an Outdoor Education 9, and that'll lead you to a few different topics that you can kind of explore, and that'll be updated as we go as well. So if you're looking for kind of what your checklist is, really it's all based out of WolfNet. There's a WolfNet consent form that'll pop up in the parent WolfNet, and the rest of the information can be found on that WolfNet page that I just showed you. If you still need more information, please do reach out by email, jloger@WPGA, and Jess will be able to answer a lot of those questions for you. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope we kept it short enough, and feel free to reach out with questions should you have them.